KVGC News Time, 7 minutes after the hour. Time for a look at the news for a Tuesday, the 29th day of December for 2020. Well, Governor Newsom announced yesterday that state health officials will review information gathered regarding regional stay-at-home orders, and an announcement will be made today based on 4-week data projections. Based on preliminary projections, the greater Sacramento area, which includes Amador County, may have the stay-at-home order lifted this Friday, January 1st. Newsom noted it's likely that the regional stay-at-home order will be extended for the other regions in California. The current stay-at-home restrictions in place for the past 3 weeks require each of the 5 regions to have ICU capacity projections to be above or equal to 15%. Calaveras, as part of the San Joaquin Valley region, remains at 0% ICU availability. Northern California projections are 29.3%. Southern California is at 0%. The greater Sacramento region, 16.6%, and the Bay Area at 9.5%. The stay-at-home order impacts operations for businesses such as restaurants, fitness centers, wineries, and beauty salons, along with churches and centers of worship.
Well, an Amador County jury has returned a voluntary manslaughter verdict in a domestic violence killing. After a trial that lasted 2 weeks, followed by a 2-week hiatus for deliberations due to medical issues within the jury, a unanimous jury returned a guilty verdict of voluntary manslaughter, a felony, against Kyle James Buchanan of Plymouth for killing his girlfriend, Tina Louise Gibbs, by running her over with his vehicle in 2019. Now, the jury also returned guilty verdicts for charges of gross vehicular manslaughter, domestic violence, and assault with a deadly weapon, all felonies, as well as finding that Buchanan personally used a deadly weapon, a vehicle, and inflicted great bodily injury during the incident. Well, on Friday, January 18th of 2019, Buchanan was involved in a domestic disturbance with Gibbs, his girlfriend, in front of his home in Plymouth. An eyewitness testified that Gibbs was in the driver doorway of Buchanan's vehicle, punching and kicking Buchanan, who was in the driver's seat, as they argued over her wallet. Buchanan reversed his vehicle as Gibbs clung to the car door until she was overtaken by the left front wheel of the vehicle. She was rushed via helicopter to a Valley Trauma Center where she died of her injuries. Buchanan scheduled for sentencing in February. He faces a max sentence of 11 years in state prison.
2 Lodi men were cited, and a third is still at large following a shoplifting spree at Lowe's. According to the Amador County Sheriff's Department, while on patrol in the Amador Ridge Shopping Center, a deputy noticed a man sprinting from the garden department of Lowe's with a cart full of merchandise. The deputy watched as the suspect approached a waiting pickup truck and noticed he was hastily loading the items into the truck. Shortly after the deputy made contact with the suspect, he fled the scene on foot towards Safeway. Additional law enforcement agencies from throughout the county responded to assist. However, the suspect is still at large. The 2 suspects who remained on scene were identified as Donald Morris and Kyle Hall, both of Lodi. The deputy was able to recover approximately $2,300 worth of merchandise, which was returned to Lowe's. Both Hall and Morris were issued citations on numerous charges.
Well, an arrest has been made in a Calaveras County arson investigation. On December 22nd, the Calaveras Sheriff Office released a photograph of a person of interest in several recent suspicious fires. Consequently, several tips were received from the public regarding the ID of the person in the photograph. On December 23rd, sheriff detectives contacted Carl Morrison of Mountain Ranch while following up on tips received from the public. During the contact with Morrison, new info and evidence discovered. Morrison was arrested. He was later booked into the Calaveras County Jail on charges of arson of an inhabited structure, arson of forest land, burglary, vehicle theft, and theft. Morrison currently being held in the Calaveras County Jail with bail set at $250,000. The investigation is continuing. No further info has been released. The Sheriff's Office would like to thank the citizens who provided info regarding the case.
And CAL FIRE, Tuolumne Calaveras unit, has officially transitioned out of fire season. We reported yesterday of the Amador the Amador El Dorado unit doing the same. Recent weather conditions have lowered the risk for wildfires. The most notable change for local residents is that now residential burning permits are no longer required for burning of piles. Residents are urged to take appropriate precautions to prevent sparking a wildfire. Remember, if you choose to burn on your property, it's your responsibility to maintain control of the fire. Of course, burning only allowed on permissive burn days. The 2020 fire season was unfortunately a record-breaking one for California. Statewide, 4.2 million acres burned across state, federal, and local jurisdictions.
Well, in a post on social media yesterday, the Amador County DA's office has laid out their case for not filing murder charges against Joshua Martinez and the disappearance of Victoria Marquina. The piece starts out by saying everything was done by the DA's office to build a case strong enough so the San Joaquin County DA's office would file charges against the man responsible for Marquina's death. Well, while Martinez was in Amador County Jail on felony sex-related charges, including statutory rape against Marquina, an Amador County District Attorney investigator developed evidence that the girl was allegedly murdered by Martinez, likely in San Joaquin County. With no evidence that any part of the alleged homicide occurred in Amador County, the Amador DA's office had no jurisdiction to charge Martinez. The post goes on to read, quote, "The San Joaquin District Attorney's Office respectfully disagreed with our assessment, insisting on more evidence that Victoria was dead before they would file charges." Now, according to the District Attorney's Office, and since San Joaquin didn't want Martinez interviewed on the suspected murder, Amador would release Martinez from jail, immediately arrest him on a RAMI warrant for the murder of Victoria. Well, in defense of the warrant, the DA's office wrote, quote, "The RAMI warrant was not written to get around the Amador County District Attorney's Office, as we stated on regional television and in local media, but to take a necessary effort to try to develop sufficient evidence to convince San Joaquin County to charge Martinez." Martinez, under investigation, invoked his right to remain silent. The effort failed. The San Joaquin County DA's office again declined to prosecute Martinez due to insufficient evidence of her death, so Martinez was released. In posting the message on social media, the DA's office stated, quote, "It is important that the Marquina family and public know the truth about the Amador County DA's office efforts to seek justice for Victoria so that they can have confidence we did everything we could to build a case whereby the San Joaquin County DA's office would file charges." Now, if anyone has info relevant to the case, they should contact the Amador County Sheriff Office immediately.
And a quick note for you, a rider alert, no bus service on January 1st, this Friday, for Amador Transit in observance of New Year's Day. So again, best wishes for a safe and happy holiday season and a very safe and healthy coming new year from Amador Transit.
And Amador County Upcountry Rotary holding a drive-through crab feed Saturday, January 16th. But you gotta get your tickets by January 1st, okay? Order by phone until January 1st. Call 295-4973. Tickets are only $50. The menu's for two: Dungeness crabs, salad, clam chowder, and 4 dinner rolls. 4 pounds of crab on that, folks. Again, only $50. Call 295-4973, or you can check out their Facebook page, Rotary Club of Amador County. Again, you got to order by the 1st, but the pickup will be January 16th, 3 to 5 at Our Lady of the Pines Catholic Church in Pioneer.
That's a look at local news on a Gold Country Tuesday morning from the KVGC News Center.
I'm JD.
And I'm Jim Geedy reporting. Remember, for the latest news, traffic, and weather 24 hours a day, always visit our website, kvgcradio.com.